Conservatives talking about this Obama treason, Russia stuff is just like personal therapy for me. So this is just for my own entertainment. I haven't seen a single second of this video, so I'm gonna go through it in real time. Crowder's kind of late to this whole Russiagate, treason, Obama, Clapper, Comey, you know, all this nonsense, right? The only party that commits treason is the Republican Party. This is complete like bullcrap. But I like conservatives, like I'd like to see them like come up with the craziest stuff that they can, because you know, that's the only valuable thing you can pick off conservatives these days, unfortunately.
On the Russia collusion hoax, right? This is what this sort of centers on. Let's go back to September 12, 2016. The Obama administration, or DHS, concluded that foreign adversaries were in fact not capable of affecting any outcome of the 2016 election. Okay? Then Donald Trump.
Okay, so this is how he starts his video, with a complete falsehood. That was not what their intelligence report said. The intelligence consensus was that Russians could not, and this was in the public daily brief, presidential daily brief that was in December, they could not access and change votes. They could not hack into the voting machines. That's what they assessed. They did not say that they couldn't affect the results of that election. No intelligence ever said that, ever. Because they clearly did, and we know that they did. We knew that the second they hacked, the CrowdStrike looked into the DNC hack. We knew George Papadopoulos knew that the second he was told by Joseph Misfood about the hacked emails. Like we knew that this was the Russians from the start. And we can analyze what they chose to release and what they did not choose to release and say, you know, the Internet Research Agency, the Russian military intelligence that we know were involved in this, all happened to release stuff that heavily favored Trump winning. But no, they didn't affect anything at all. This is like, even Ben Shapiro won't say this. He'll say something mediating, like, oh, they did affect the election, but they were just trying to decrease confidence in democracy, and they didn't actually intend for Trump to win. And it's like, that's obviously absurd, but it's less absurd than this. They're just taking the intelligence report and lying about it.
In November, then in December, the DHS under Obama circulated a draft of a presidential briefing confirming that Russia, again, did not affect the election. But Comey, the FBI director, objected.
Comey did object, because this brief, while everything in it was correct, and everything in this brief appeared in the 2017 ICA, which only happened a few weeks after, they have the same material. So the 2017 ICA said that there was not any evidence that Russians hacked into the voting machines. They did not change any votes. They accessed some databases, like in Illinois, but they did not manage to change any votes. This is exactly what this intelligence is telling us. It's not telling us anything really meaningful. It's not telling us that they did not do anything to interfere with the election, social media wise or hacked emails wise. Like, in order to say that they didn't interfere in the election, you'd have to say that they didn't hack the RNC and the DNC. Or, they hacked RNC members. They hacked high level Republicans, and then of course they hacked the DNC itself. You'd have to say that never happened, or it was Ukraine, or it was an insider, and it wasn't Russia. That's what Crowder's claiming here.
Right? And then they never published this, based on some, quote, new guidance. The new guidance was the Steele dossier that you guys know about. Yeah. So then on December 9th...
No, it's not. That's just not true. The Steele dossier was never in the 2017 ICA. It was in a 2-page annex that provided context to the claims made by the dossier, but the dossier was never, ever used in any of the claims made by the 2017 ICA. If it was, then the 2020 Partisan House report would have ripped that apart. And it would have probably been a bipartisan report, because they knew that the Steele dossier was just hearsay at that point. Low-level intelligence. It's good for leads. It's like the Hunter Biden laptop. It's like good for maybe a starting point, but it gets you nowhere else, right? And I just like that comparison. Like the Steele dossier is as meaningful as the Hunter Biden laptop, and conservatives somehow make a huge deal out of the Hunter Biden laptop, even though it's exactly the same caliber of intelligence, even less caliber, because the laptop is even more hearsay. 10% to the big guy that never happened while Joe Biden was a private citizen. That's even more hearsay, and you're going to make a whole Biden crime family thing out of that. And then the person who informed the FBI that like Biden was receiving millions from like Russian, Burisma executives, he gets put in jail for lying to the FBI in December 2024. Fox News doesn't even talk about it. It's like, I'm just comparing the two parts. I mean, it's just not even close. If anyone's a registered Republican, it's just absurd at this point.
Obama met with officials, ordered an assessment of Russian election interference, even after they already had the information that Russia was not capable of interfering in the election. That same day, intelligence officials began leaking information to the media that Russia intervened to help Trump win. In other words, at the same time as those in the know saying...
CIA concluded in a secret assessment that Russia intervened in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump win, rather than... Yeah. He just admitted. He's throwing up the intelligence. Well, actually, no, this is the one he disagrees with, sorry. Rather than just undermine the confidence. He never puts up any evidence of the leaking thing. Not that it would change the reality of what Russia did. Like, I don't care if some of the intelligence members broke their code, right, and leaked some of this stuff. It doesn't matter if it's leaked. It matters what's true. And what's true, we happen to know because a lot of this stuff was declassified or was never classified to begin with. So it's just a stupid argument.
Information to the media that Russia intervened to help Trump win. In other words, at the same time as those in the know saying, yeah, Russia didn't do this, it's not really actually a possibility, they said, nah, we're going to leak it anyway so that people think Donald Trump is a Russian asset, and that's why it was the story that you heard about for 2 entire years. We also obtained a leaked phone call, since leaking is going around, from a friend.
No, there's Russia changing votes, then there's Russia influencing our elections via hacking operations, via its internet research agency, reaching hundreds of millions of Americans on social media accounts, and spending money trying to get Trump elected. And then there is Russia didn't do anything. So he's completely ignoring the middle here, which is what everyone's known forever. He's completely ignoring it. And that's what Charlie Kirk does.
Who worked in the media back then and had some correspondence with Barack Obama, it seems pretty cut and dry.
Hello? No, this is Frank. This is Frank from the FBI. I'm calling with a huge scoop. Okay, Frank. You got a last name, or would you like to remain anonymous? No, I've got new reports. Suggest Donald Trump colluding with Vladimir Putin and Russia to steal the election. All right, can anyone corroborate your story? Well, you can always ask Michelle, is my wife. Okay, well, I don't think your wife, Michael, is a reliable source. Who do you work for? I work for the American people now. Look, Mr. President, I know it's you. Just be honest with me. You can remain completely anonymous. It's fine. All right, now, fine. Michelle's real name is Mike, but people keep saying Big Mike. It's actually pretty small. Almost like it's not even there. The whole thing just one G. Your wife is a man? No. Don't go getting all wee-wee, huh? I'll leave the wee-wees to you, sir. Okay? We'll have a report on the...
Great, well-researched video here, by the way.
Is this your cell phone? I'll send you a picture. It come through?
This is why I typically like to watch some of the videos ahead of time, because of this stuff. But
I gotta go.
It's the new era. Every president is going to have wiener pics.
How exciting.
And then in January, after all this, and it was really clear that Russia could not have affected the outcome. January 6, 2017, the Obama administration released a report that Putin tried to sabotage the election for Trump. Again, there's no doubt that they knew it was false. That brings us to another edition of Claim Truth. All right.
That's a new January 6th.
Yeah.
January 6th, 2017. That's the original insurrection,
It's the
baby.
original 9/11.
all right. Oh my gosh, I've never seen so many stupid people sitting in a room. Oh my gosh. What's gonna be the claim? All right, let's think. So the claim is that he's probably gonna steel man. I'll be generous. So let's say he's steel manning what I'm arguing. Let's say he's like, oh, Russia just hacked the emails. They did the social media accounts. They did interference that was sweeping and systemic, as was corroborated by the Mueller report. A Republican, right? Corroborated by the bipartisan 2020 Intelligence Committee, right? All that stuff. Let's say he steel mans that.
Sequel.
Yeah, no shamans needed.
9/11 harder. So the first claim they're making right now out there is that Tulsi and President Trump actually they're misrepresenting what the intelligence community concluded. So if you believe that they concluded there was no, it's actually Trump and Tulsi lying to you.
I think there's a strong chance he's talking about something highlighted by a director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, that refers to an email post-election in 2016 where a member of the intelligence community said the president had directed the intelligence community to come up with a new assessment of how Russia had attempted to use tools to intervene in the 2016 election. So 2 things about that. First of all, that is post-election. That is pre-inauguration, but post-election, so it would not be an election rigging effort.
Okay, here's the truth. They absolutely did what President Trump and Tulsi are saying they did. The report from Tulsi Gabbard on Friday confirmed that before the 2016 election, multiple Obama intel reports concluded unilaterally Russia could not affect the upcoming election. And after the 2016 election, that's when Obama did it.
Again, he outs himself right here. There is no indication of a Russian threat to directly manipulate the actual vote count. If he reads that one sentence, his whole video goes in the garbage, which makes me think, like, does he actually believe the stuff he's saying?
Unilaterally, Russia could not affect the upcoming election. And after the 2016 election, that's when Obama did the about face and said, oh, there could, no, there could be. Like, yeah, but was there? There could. So the Comey and Obama administration, they killed this post-election intel report. That concluded. And references of it.
There was one person who potentially influenced the 2016 election, and it was James Comey, and he did it in favor of Donald Trump. And he admits it to this day by reopening the Hillary Clinton investigation 11 days before the election, and then closing it 2 days before the election, like after a lot of people had already voted, right? And doing that openly, he violated multiple FBI rules, the 60-day rule, the not commenting on open investigation rule, right? These are some of these are more casual rules. Some of them are more serious, but he clearly did some damage to Hillary Clinton's campaign. That's the only significant thing that happened. All the July stuff about Comey, vindicating Hillary Clinton or saying that she was guilt-free, even though he basically attacked her for using that email server, which she probably used innocently, to be honest. All this stuff is negated. No conservative will ever talk about the 11 days before the election.
For you to go read the full report, please, that Russian and criminal actors did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting malicious cyber activities against election infrastructure. Does that sound like what?
Against election infrastructure, not DNC infrastructure, or social media infrastructure. These things are totally different. And by the way, look at campaign finance laws. This is about campaign finance. This is about Russia contributing to a campaign, not only with their own resources, but doing so illegally, hacking into private servers, getting people's private information, right?
You heard for 2 years. Did not impact the election. Barack Obama knew this. Barack Obama, Comey, withheld that and told the media, run with it. How many people have you encountered who say, well, I'm scared because Donald Trump is a Russian asset? Here's the next claim that they're going to make. That the Steele dossier, Fusion GPS, right, was not actually the basis for the story that Russia interfered with the election. This comes from CNN. There's no suggestion that the Steele dossier was involved in the crafting of the analysis itself. Here's the truth.
There is no Steele dossier. Oh my God. If there was, again, the Republicans in the partisan House committee would have absolutely teared that apart. And that would have been their whole report, right? But instead, it was just an appendix. So I wonder if he's going to say that.
Yes, it was, almost entirely. The documents Friday that Tulsi released, they are the ones that point to why all of a sudden about face on the Russian interference thing, citing further information that came to light after the election, which coincided with the Steele dossier. The only further information that came to light, let's go, before Steele dossier, all information, all intelligence, there's Russia.
Let me go back here, because Tulsi Gabbard is kind of weird with their words, so I have to kind of parse all
citing
this
further
stuff.
information that
The Obama White House gathers top cabinet officials for a National Security Council, Clapper, whatever. Obama administration shares the unclassified ICA with the public. It falsely alleges, based on further information that had come to light since the election, that Putin directed an effort to Clinton. All right, this is different. This is not Putin's intentions, which you can reasonably argue we aren't sure of by intelligence standards, but by just you and me talking every day, or like casual conversation, we would say that definitely Putin had an obvious intention here, and the ICA. NSA, Mike Rogers had higher standards, so they only did moderate confidence for that. But I think should have been high confidence. It's obvious by what he chose to release that, and you can even take the Colin Powell emails, the Clinton Health emails. There's explanations for all those that I won't give here. But it's so clear that he was trying to attack Hillary from both sides, from both the Bernie side and the Trump side. He hacked a bunch of Republican personnel, never released anything. Never drummed up any drama around Republicans for a reason. And then there's additional, highly connected intelligence that the ICA refers to that is kind of smeared in the partisan 2020 House report. In my reading, unjustly. But let's keep going here. The dossier made explosive but unverified allegations, whatever. For years, the report released to the public is an abbreviated version of a highly classified. Is this even evidence for anything you just said? Where's the dossier? Where's the dossier part? It falsely alleges share the unclassify. Further information is later confirmed to be the Steele dossier. This is just false. What Tulsi's saying here is simply false. There is zero evidence that the Steele dossier is in any aspect in the ICA. It is in an appendix, right? James Comey's under oath saying it's not in the ICA. This would be a massive deal. If it was, then you can go ahead and prosecute James Comey. Put him in jail then. Oh, wait, why are you putting it? Because what you're saying is not true. I actually read this part where she types that out. She refers to like a very, very vague statement. It's just not true if you look at the ICA in and of itself.
Came to light after the election, which coincided with the Steele dossier. The only further information that came to light, let's go, before Steele dossier. All information, all intelligence. There's Russia could not and did not. New information, Steele dossier, which we've already gotten into. You can go read a wrap-up on that and why it's corrupt. That's the only new information. Actually, no, wait, maybe Russia did leak it to the press. Here's the next claim that they'll make. They're just trying to drag this out. Tulsi's report, there's nothing new here. That's what they said. Here, Barack Obama responded to the report saying, nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes.
All right, so this is the substance of my argument. So I don't know how he's going to go around that. Shoot.
Here's the truth, complete, total horse shit. Just this morning, Tulsi dropped some more documents proving that Barack Obama was lying. He was lying then, and he's lying now. After the 2016 election, now I'm stuttering like Barack Obama. After the 2016 election, Obama ordered the release of 15 pre-election reports. And the intel community, they said that it, quote, did not meet tradecraft standards. So 3 of those 15 flawed reports.
So 3. This is stupid. He's not even addressing the point. This is the 3 of the 15. So 12 of the 15 were just meaningless. They didn't give any information. 3 of the 15, the House Republicans said that they did not meet tradecraft standards. Now the NSA, Mike Rogers, didn't think that one of those highly connected Kremlin sources met standards for high confidence. But he doesn't even know what this means. He doesn't even know what tradecraft means. Like, you can have any evidence you want. It's just a matter of low, high, or moderate confidence. So, I mean, I don't know what he's going to go with here.
Were integral to this hoax claim going out there that Putin attempted to help Donald Trump win. He lied. He knowingly lied. He was told, basically, no uncertain words from the people who were supposed to provide him with information. Yeah, hold on a second. Russia didn't, and they couldn't. Don't do that. That would be a lie. And he said, noted. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah. And part of what she released today, let me just read just like a really quick part of it. Unlike routine
All right, he didn't even address it, but whatever.
analysis, the ICA was a high-profile product ordered by the president, director of senior ICA agency heads, and created by just 5 CIA analysts using one principal drafter. None of that is kosher. Especially these reports that we've talked about that they knew already did not meet the standards that they needed to meet to be able to be relied upon.
Right.
They knew that. And this, by the way, led to Donald Trump. They tried to impeach him that year.
Yep.
That's the coup portion of this. Push this out there, try to get him impeached, subvert the will of the people to have President Trump in office.
This is a snake response, too. When he said the widely accepted result. Widely accepted doesn't mean it's true.
I mean,
for a long time, it was widely accepted that the Earth was flat. I mean, that's the oldest cliche in the book.
And it's only widely accepted because he lied to the public. So there's a certain portion of the public that accepts it, even though he knowingly lied. Look, you can hate Donald Trump. Let's point to January 6th. There really is no dispute that when January 6th happened and Donald Trump said, make your voices heard peacefully and patriotically, he believed there was foul play in the election. By the way, I still do. I never bought into the Dominion voting machine things because we didn't have evidence. But as far as election interference and mass mail-in voting and votes flipping and districts being...
Endorsing the murder of your vice president, directing your DOJ to send out known lies. We know that he was lying here because every single day he would change his numbers. How many dead people had voted, how many people across state lines has voted, how many people double voted, how many mail-in ballots got lost. Like, he would just change these lies whenever he wanted. And then John Eastman, his lawyer, met with him, told him that this plan to essentially send in these alternate elector slates after all litigation had finished would be struck down 9-0 in the Supreme Court and was totally illegal. He did it anyways, right? He had to, his whole DOJ was telling him, this is nonsense. All the Republican legislators told him it was nonsense, right? This was reckless disregard in its highest form. That's what Jack Smith argued in his report. So you can't even say that you believe we have him quoted by his family saying it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you just have to fight. We have him quoted saying to his DOJ, just say the election was rigged and I'll leave the rest and leave the rest to me and the Republican legislators. Like, he did not care about the fraud. He only cared about the outcome.
And not being able to verify your votes. There's no doubt that Donald Trump believed there was foul play.
Yeah.
And they tried to say that was treason. Barack Obama knew that there was no foul play and lied about it anyway to try and get a political opponent impeached. This is what they do. They fabricate something, they lie to create so that they can...
How is it a political opponent? Oh, his terms are ended. This is over with. He's not even like... I have to rewind this because this is such a schizoid piece of content. Like, he didn't even address the distinction Obama made between manipulating votes and manipulating, like where does the DNC hack, the main object here, the DNC hack, where is that in his argument at all? I haven't heard him mention it once. It's absurd.
Actually use an intellectual fallacy, right? The argument ad populum. They go, no, it's widely believed. Well, it's because you lied. So what you do is you lie, you get it out there so people believe it and go, no, why? Where there's smoke, there's fire. You lit the fire. You created the fire. You did it with Russia. You remember peeing prostitutes on the French? Remember the N-word tape that never surfaced? You did it with all of the indictments. You did it with the witch hunt so that you could claim, look, he's a felon. You did it with Stormy Daniels. And then you have your lackeys in the... By the way, they also did it with Joe Rogan and ivermectin, right? Tried to have him removed. They've done it with us. All the stuff that you see play out, these scenarios in social media and in television where voices of dissent are silenced, those same tools and mechanisms are used to try and destroy your trust. And by the way, any institutions, well, they demand that you trust the institution so long as they are in charge.
So long as their narrative is widely accepted.
Yep.
You know what else? It was widely accepted that the Juden were tearing down the fabric of our society.
That's right. They have like sickle cell.